All right, we're out in the shop again this weekend. We got Levi behind the camera. Courtney's hiding over there in her notebook, coloring. I've seen a lot of people building these used oil or drip oil burners, whatever you want to call them. I want to give it a shot because this gas furnace we have out here is ridiculously expensive to run in the winter. So I'm hoping this will kind of help cut back on our gas bill throughout the winter. If I can run this just on the weekends when we're out here working, I think it'll help a lot. So we're taking an old propane tank. This is I believe it's a 40 gallon or whatever they call that. This is going to be the main furnace or the burn part of the stove. Our exhaust or our chimney will come right out the top. This propane tank, I'm going to cut this one apart and use this as our oil feed reservoir. This will be hung up on the wall somewhere above this and just be gravity fed down into the burn pot. Now, I've seen a lot of people use a brake rotor in their burn pot because the vents on the rotor create a vortex as the air is drawn into it. We'll see how that works. We'll try what everybody else has been using to start out with and go from there. This is the exhaust pipe or the chimney we're going to be using. It's just some 6-inch or 6.5 inch drill pipe. I've got another 20 feet of it outside, so got 3/8 stainless steel pipe. This was a spaghetti mess. I've been trying to straighten it out with my brake line bender, and I think I've got a long enough section now to go from our oil reservoir down to the burn pot. We'll see. I might need to straighten out some more of this, but yeah, a lot of this will be time lapse because it's going to be a lot of little stuff, boring stuff. So I think we're going to start by cutting the top out of this propane tank and getting that piece of pipe welded into the top as the start of our chimney. And then we'll cut a door in this for towards the bottom where the burn pot's going to be. All right, so we decided we're going to cut this door out first. We've got everything marked out. I'm just going to cut it with a grinder. We do have, obviously this thing is empty and been depleted, but we are going to run, just to be safe, run some shop air through there while I'm cutting, just so there's no possible way this thing's going to ignite. All right, it's a new day in the shop. We ran out of time yesterday. We didn't get a whole lot done other than getting this door cut out. So I'm using some piano hinge for my hinge, and I'm going to use 1-inch flat stock for the flange that's going to go around this door. Try and bend this to about the right radius that this door is going to have, because I don't want this door to end up flattening out once I start welding on it. I'm going to have to move around a lot to keep the temperature down on it. So that's the plan, though. I haven't figured out a latch yet. We'll get to that when we get there.
Simple as my mama said when I was very young. She told me not to worry, son, one day you'll be someone. But here I am at 21, as loaded as a stagecoach shotgun. I'm sorry, mama, please don't look at me. When I got to Oklahoma, I was 17. My papa taught me how to work, and Lord, he was mean. Working all day in that August heat, and he taught me how to fish. My uncle taught me how to drink. Well, I went to California and I had me a band, and we played in all the bars and all the southern lands. We played all night and we drank for free, all of my boys and me. Now sober by 24. Well, I had a girl who loved me the whole damn time. Man, I drank my whiskey and she drank wine. Soon my bottle was too much to company. Yeah, we'd sit on the river and we'd fish all day, and we'd drive across the country, let the radio play. 7 damn years I never thought she'd leave. Now I'm 23 and there ain't nobody who can drink like me. Soon I'll be 24 and the Lord knows that I can't drink no more. I know I should have taken it slow. It's not the way that my life goes. Lord, I know. When you're passed out on the floor, you're sober by 24. Simple as my mama said when I was very young. She told me not to worry, son, one day you'll be someone. But here I am at 21, as loaded as a stagecoach shotgun. I'm sorry, mama, please don't look at me.
All right, I finally got this thing dialed in. I'm gonna show you some of the changes that I made from what I initially told you I was gonna do and what's worked for me and what didn't work for me. I'll show you a couple things that didn't work, but for starters, this ball valve, or this valve right here, I ended up using a gate valve instead of a ball valve. The ball valve was just a little too difficult to regulate the oil flow. I don't have what everybody else is showing was like a pencil lead stream thickness, and you can't actually see that through there. All you can see is the oil flowing on the back side of that T. So in order to get my flow somewhat close when I first start this thing, I base it off of the oil that's flowing into the pot down in there. Before everything's lit, I will get that adjusted, and I'll look in here and wait for my oil to flow down and in, and get my adjustments set based on how much is coming into the pot before it's lit. So I also ended up having to add some aluminum foil around my feed line right here. I would like to build some sort of heat shield that comes up between the two. It was getting too hot without that foil on there, but the foil actually works great. It's cold to the touch. And this has been running for about an hour and a half, 2 hours now. I think closer to 2 hours. And it doesn't work to use the laser thermometer on it because it just reflects and you get a false reading. So, but I've been trying to keep it around, all the way out there. I've been trying to keep, this is my target area for keeping it a consistent temperature. And I've been trying to keep it around 600 to 650 degrees right in this area. So one other thing that I changed, I didn't use the pipe I initially talked about using for my chimney. I ended up just buying 6-inch stove pipe and going up and out through the wall. It's just 90'd straight out the wall. I was gonna go above the roof line, but I decided to try this for now because this pipe is expensive. I may still go up and get it above the roof line eventually, but for now this is working and it's not leaving the side of my building all black, so might just leave it the way it is.
There's not much smoke coming out, and I don't think that you guys can see it, but there is definitely heat.
I did figure out this is way too much airflow blowing into the pot. I had diverted part of my air through a manifold that I built in the back right here, but it was not enough. I needed like 90% of that airflow to go through my manifold for my heat exchanger pipes right here, and about 10% actually going into the pot. So what I ended up doing was drilling a bunch of holes down here, and I also had to partially block that with just a little piece of square tubing I shoved in there to block part of the airflow, because it was still just too much, and it was blowing it out or burning it too fast and getting too hot. I'll give you a quick view inside of there. So that oil feed line is a copper pipe coming in from the side through that 90 over there. It goes into that pipe and then points down towards the burn pot here. The airflow coming from the blower motor is flowing around that pipe at all times, so that copper pipe inside the middle of there never gets too hot because of the constant airflow. But I ended up using a stainless steel mixing bowl for my burn pot, and you can see that's glowing red, and it has to be in order to vaporize that oil and burn it. I'm going to show you a couple things that I tried that didn't work. So for starters, here's the ball valve. I started out with this ball valve for my oil feed, and it was just too hard to regulate with that. This is a dog dish, just a stainless steel dog dish. This one worked, but the problem with it is those sidewalls are angled out, and I was getting a lot of smoke coming out through my door instead of it drafting up. So I decided to build my own and tried this one out. Well, this didn't work because it's way too thick. It's got to be thin, and it has to be, well, it doesn't necessarily have to be stainless. That's what everybody's saying. I suppose maybe it does, I'm not sure. Either way, this is way too thick a metal. You can't keep it hot enough to vaporize that oil when that oil hits it. This was another one that I tried, and obviously not this one, but one identical to this I tried. And again, the sidewalls are just, they're angled out, so I was getting smoke coming out my door. But that mixing bowl that I found has got straight sidewalls, so it works good for all of my smoke to go straight up, and everything drafts out real good. I can keep the door open, and it doesn't smoke it out in here. So definitely thin wall pot. One of those other options may work for you if you decide to build one. It just depends on how you've got the stove door set up and where in there it's located as to whether or not you're going to get smoke coming out the door. So that was my main reason for having an issue with finding the right burn pot, was just because of the smoke coming out the door. So what else? You can see I used an old pool table slate on the wall back there. That holds the heat really well. Even for a couple hours after I shut this thing down, that thing will still be hot. But we're at a little over 200 degrees right there. I've got that fan in the corner blowing across the back of the stove and the slate, so it keeps that slate from getting a little too hot and just helps move the air around the shop. So this is my shop's 1,700 square feet. It's 48 by 36. And that's been running for about 2 hours now. Normally I just keep this gas furnace set at 45 degrees throughout the whole winter, just to keep everything from freezing in here. But after 2 hours of running that thing, I'm up to 63 degrees in the shop. And we're a good 30 feet, 35 feet away from the stove. So, oh, and it's, what is it today? It is -5 out right now. So it's a good weekend to test this thing. So yeah, low of -13 tonight, but yeah, very cold out today. And we've got it 63 degrees in here after 2 hours of running that thing. So from 45, it's come up, so 18 degrees in 2 hours. That's pretty good, I think. I don't think that gas stove will heat it up that fast in here by itself. But I guess if you have any questions, just let me know in the comments, or if you want me to do a video on a startup procedure on this. Oh, I was gonna tell you about that a little bit. I'm just using a little bit of diesel. I pour a little bit of diesel out of this into the bottom of that pot. Clean it. You have to clean it every day. There is a lot of maintenance with this thing, and cleaning that pot out every day. But just pour a little bit of diesel in the bottom of it. I light it with a torch. I wait about 5 minutes for that pot to heat up before I even turn the air on to it. And then also I get my oil flow going prior to lighting the diesel. Just let it get a little bit of oil in there mixed in with the diesel, and then I light it. So it takes about half hour, 45 minutes to really get this thing regulated good. So it is a long startup procedure, just to get everything to the right temperature that I want. So, but if you have questions, let me know in the comments, and I'll try and answer them the best I can.